This is going to be a two-part video. In part one, I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. Also in this video, I'm going to show you my settings, what I've set up for me, and what you can see right now, how I use it. And also in this part of the video, I am going to show you what app I actually use, this baby here. Yeah, what app I'm actually using, and I will put a link in the video description in case you want to download it and install it. There is a small charge, but if you're thinking about using the Pocket 6K Pro Gen 2, which is that one, or even the Gen 1 actually, it might be worth you downloading this app. I think it's about £6 something. It's not expensive, and yeah, it was well worth it in the end. Very pleased with it. Not perfect, but it does everything I want it to do, so I'm pleased with it. In part two, I'm going to be showing you what software I use, DaVinci Resolve. I actually use DaVinci Resolve Studio. How I managed to go from this to this using DaVinci Resolve. So if you like any part of this video or any part of the next video, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you any money whatsoever, and it does help the channel to keep on growing. So with that, let's get on with it, shall we? Right, I'm actually using a camcorder now, that baby there. So this is the camera I was just using just a minute ago. This is the Blackmagic 6K Pro Gen 2. And this is currently my setup. This all sits on a tripod. It's got a cage around it. It's got a big lens on it. And it's got a monitor on it. So I can see when it's facing me what it's doing. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah. So I don't use that one unless I'm standing behind the camera. When I'm in front of the camera, I use that one. Make sense? So I just wanted to point that out, and with that, let's get on with the rest of the video, shall we? In this part of the video, I'm going to show you my settings and how I managed to go from the image on the left hand side, on the left hand monitor, to the image on the right hand monitor. Totally same pictures, but totally different. I did use some software to cure that problem. I did manage to cure it by using DaVinci Resolve and doing lots of little adjustments and even some auto adjustments to get it to come out like the one on the right. But if you set it up properly, you will have to do very little adjustment, and that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I've done wrong in the first place, and then I'm going to show you how to get it right in the second place. Right, this is where I went wrong, and this is the bit that I'm still learning how to do. When I set this up originally, I had it set up on video, which I thought, well, it's video. That's the way to go, surely. And this is the quality of image I was producing and getting out. So then I had to go into my DaVinci Resolve software and constantly correct it to sort it out. Now I found an easy solution for me, and it's probably just something really simple like a quick adjustment actually in the video settings. But if you're new to using this type of camera, I found an easy fix. All you had to do, go from video to film, and voila, we got instant quality check. Now I do have some presets which I'm going to press on now and click on that, and I'm going to quickly go through all my settings actually as I've got it set up in case you want to copy it. And also I have auto focus actually turned off. So starting from the left, we have record, and we want to go back one screen. So screen number one, let me just zoom in. Right, on the first screen we have Blackmagic RAW, we have constant bitrate and 5.7, 17.9, and that's what I use most of the time, especially when the camera's just facing me, and it seemed to work perfectly. Now you can switch it over to 6K. The problem with 6K is it does use a lot of data, and it will fill up your hard drive really quickly, maybe even cause you issues when you're doing your editing. So I prefer to leave on 4K, which is that baby there. So that's screen number one. Screen number two, on recording. I have it set to film. Like I said earlier, if you put it to video, then you need to go in there and make even more adjustments, which I'm going to probably do an update video at a later stage. And I have it set for CFast. I have a CFast card in there, which is the one I use most of the time, but also I have an SD card in there in case I need to switch over for any reason. Say for instance the CFast card is full up, can switch it over to the SD card, but I normally use the CFast one because I find it works perfectly, and I normally have it on film like I said earlier. Detail sharpness I've turned on. I have alerts on, so basically if the card is about to drop a frame or something, it will alert me. And apply LUTs in file, so basically it will apply the LUTs, the picture image, actually in the file, so it's easier to do any adjustments. On the monitor I have it set on LCD, and these are the options I have turned on: display 3D LUTs, zebras, focus assist, frame guide, grid, and I have safe area turned off and false color turned off. There are quite a few options in here actually. Status text is turned on. Kodak and resolution and panoramic disc squeeze is none, in case you need to know. Peaking is turned on and I have it set at 90%. Crosshairs I like to have turned on because it gives you a guideline, and I have thirds for grids. LCD is set at 100% because I normally have it plugged into the electric, so that's fine. So that's that one done. Audio's at 50%. I don't really play about with the audio, so I tend to use a separate recorder for my audio, so I don't actually use this. So I'm going to skip that, but there's two options in there. Like I said, I don't use that, but should you need to, it's easy enough to do. And setup. Shutter angle is a preferred method for me rather than shutter speed, and I use 60 Hz because I find it's better. You get less flicker. Now function keys, there's three function keys, or several function keys, but there's three function keys that I use, and I have F1 set up for zebras, then there's F2 false color, and S3 for status text, which basically removes the text from the top and the bottom of the screen when I'm using it. And there's quite a few options on here as well. That's for you when you're using other devices. Tally light red, now I think that is a recording light as far as I understand, but I could be totally wrong. Auto dim display is turned on. After 5 minutes it will auto dim. Playback all clips, and I have tally light LD is on high, so I like to see it nice and brightly so I know it's on. Setup, Bluetooth name, reset camera, they're basically resetting and calibration, and let's go to presets. Now I have been playing about with quite a few presets and I do like it, especially this one here, which is what it's on at the moment, and the wide angle one. So this is the one we're using at the moment. This is the one we've just gone all the way through to this point, but I'm not sure how many you can do, but obviously I've got 7 there so far, and you should be able to do more. But I'm also thinking about deleting some of them because sometimes I get a little bit confused which one I'm actually using. And then we have LUTs. Now I use the Gen 5 film to extend video, and that is basically my settings. I just wanted to show you all my settings and how I basically sorted out my recordings. Like I said earlier, I had it set up on video and I should have had it on film. So I need to learn how to adjust the video settings so that in the future when I am using video, I'll get a better quality image and don't have the same issue. But at the moment, I prefer it to be on film and it's perfect. The other thing I want to quickly point out is my lens. Now this is a very good lens, don't get me wrong, it's an 18 to 35mm f.8 and it works extremely well, especially when you want to do a blurry background. It's very good, but I'm thinking about changing it to a wider screen one because it's quite close to your face, so I need something that will, put more picturing into the actual video itself, or in a shorter distance, if that makes sense. So with that, let's get back to me, shall we? Now I'm going to show you the app, but I'm only going to show you the basics. It's just going to show you a simple way of how I use it, and you know, it's quite easy to do actually, but there is quite a bit on there as well, the same as what's on the actual camera, which you might find very interesting. So once you start it up, make sure your Bluetooth is turned on your phone and on the camera, of course, because otherwise they can't connect. Once it's found your device, you just click on that. It will synchronize, and it takes literally seconds for it to synchronize. Doesn't take very long. And there you go, it's up and running. So like I said, I'm already recording. I'm recording on that. I'm recording on that. Camera over there, one up there. 3 cameras, plus my audio device. Spill it out, Yorkie. Right, so we have white balance, tint, stuff like that, and you can change all them settings. Next we have one I don't actually touch very often, and that is your frame rate, the iris, the shutter speed, and your ISO, which is on 400. And auto exposure, I've got it set on shutter and iris, okay? I normally just leave that alone, and you know, it's normally fine, so I don't like to touch that. Now, autofocus. I've actually turned the autofocus on just for this video. Normally I would set it manually, but just for this video I've set it on. You can adjust the sensitivity, and then when you're ready just press auto, and hopefully it's got you in focus. Now, should you need to check that, if you go over to this screen, we have safe area, frame guide safe area, grids, we have zebras. If you don't know what zebras are, is when you've got too much light coming in, it will have lines on it to show you you've got too much light coming in. Say for instance you've got a light shining on the camera, it will highlight it as zebras, little wavy lines. Very good, very helpful. And then we have focus assist. Now I'm going to turn this on. So we have colours, because I prefer colours to the peak. We have, I'm going to set on medium for now, and I want red. So that's what I'm setting out, and you need to turn it on. So focus assist, and if it works, which is not, which is a pain, because like I said, it works sometimes and then sometimes it doesn't. Don't ask me why, but at the moment it's not working and I'm blurred. It might be because I'm blurred. Try it. Or I look blurred, that's better. I'm in focus. Like I said, it's not brilliant. It does mess about sometimes. Turn that up, see if that helps. But it should, in theory, be working. Try it on high. Oh, there you go. See what I mean? It's a little bit fiddly. So on high, green. So everything in that area that is highlighted is in focus. Okay, so it does work. Like I said, it's a little bit on the fiddly side. Don't ask me why, but it just is. But it does work once you sort it out. And then we have playback, which I'm not going to go into. Your audio settings, again, I'm not going to go into it, but you can turn up the audio on here. It's on 50% now. It was on 60 earlier. It's now on 50. And your colour, so you can go in there and sort out your colours. But normally all I touch is, providing it's on auto, I would touch the auto focus, and then the only other bits I mess about with is this, because I need to know whether or not I'm in focus, because I need to know. See, it's gone off. See, it's weird. It does work. It normally works on medium as well, but for some reason it's not working. So with that, back to you again, Yorkie. Hopefully I've saved you a little bit of time. As you can see, it's quite accurate now. The colour on here and the colour on there and the colours actually on there are pretty close. And hopefully it's helped you out to find out how to set up a camera like this. And also it should, in theory, save you a lot of time when you're doing your video editing, especially if you're doing colouring, because I'm not very good at the colouring side of things, getting the colours right. And it did take me, when I first got this camera, quite a while to sort out the colours, the contrast, the brightness and all that stuff. It took me some time because, like I said, I'm not very good at the colouring side. I need to learn more about the colouring side using DaVinci Resolve. So with that, if you found this video useful, don't forget to give me the thumbs up and consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments whether you found this helpful or not. So with that, If you like this video, like I said, give me the thumbs up. If you didn't, give me the thumbs down, and please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.